Hi everyone, I am Kok Ming. We are from the group 3 for the ECA 3115. Today we are going to shoot a video for our project. The title is the transmission and the distribution of electric power. Here is my members.
I'm Cheryl.
I'm Shafiq.
Hi, I'm Durga.
Yes, with this project we're going to talk about we're going to make an interesting video to explain about what we have done with this project. As we mentioned earlier time, our title is the transmission and the distribution of the electric power. So what we're going to do next is we want to show you an interesting explanation with the transmission and the distribution of the electric power. Alright. Hi everyone. To make you easy understand what is the transmission and the distribution of the electric power, here we take an example, a simple example to let you easier to understand. So now we're going to explain is the way that we transport a product from the factory. So we assume the factory is in a part of in an area. So we assume that the area is like a country because it produced in a certain area, in a particular area. So first we need to transport the product to other area. So we can see that here is the country, means that the factory, we are referring to the factory located. So from the factory, we need to transfer to the other states. For example, if we produce a product, it is a Coca-Cola beverages, and we need to transfer to the other state, like the Negeri Sembilan, Perak, Johor. We need to transfer to the states. So from the country, we need some the transportation, like by the lorry, by the vans, other big structure, the vehicles, so that we can transfer our product to the other states. So if you come to the state here, we need to separate also to the wholesales. Assume if our product is reached some place like the state Johor. In the Johor area, we need some places also to distribute the products out. So we will pass the Coca-Cola to the wholesales. The wholesales will compound everything, the products, and then they will separate it in the small grocery or the agents of the hyper, super, or the mini markets. From the small grocery here, one thing we need to explain is the small grocery will directly show up their products. So the small grocery, they take the cola products and then they'll put it on the rack so that the consumer can directly get from the small grocery. Besides that, if we refer to the agents here, because we are now referring to the hyper, super, mini market, their demand is quite high for the certain area. So if we go to the hyper, super, or mini market, definitely they will require a lot of the products, high amount of the products, like 1 tons or 2 tons of the Coca-Cola. So by that, the wholesalers have to separate the very large amount of the products to the agents, so that the agents can separate the Coca-Cola into the hypermarket, which is the highest demand of the products, and also the super or the mini markets. With that one, this is we distribute the products more systematically. So if the hypermarket, definitely they will get the highest amount of the product compared to the super mini markets. They will get I can say that is moderate amount of the products. So compared to the small grocery, definitely they will get the lowest amount of the product because their demand is quite low. It's the lowest for the consumer.
Hi everyone, I am Shafiq. In previous session, my friend Kok Ming has just explained the transmission and distribution in daily life. Now, in my part, I explain to you all about the transmission and distribution of electrical in Malaysia. Firstly, we are talking about power plant. Usually in Malaysia, the power plant that they use is hydroelectric. The hydroelectric we produce the 30 kV kilovolt and 11 kilovolt. The voltage will step up to the high voltage for the transmission. They will use the step up voltage, and the voltage will be 15 kilovolt, 275 kilovolt, and 135 kilovolt. From here, they will pass to the transmission main intake. In here, they have a transformer that will step down the voltage to the 30 kV, 22 kV, and 11 kV. The capacity that they use in the transmission main intake is 90 megavolt ampere, 60 megavolt ampere, and 30 megavolt ampere. Then they will transport to the main distribution station. Here they will again step down the voltage to the 11 k and 30 k volt. Then they will transport to the distribution station. Here they have they have transformer, feeder pillar, and switch gear. Firstly, it will go to the switch gear. The switch gear is usually like the switch that we on off the switch. Then it will go to the transformer. The transformer will step down the voltage to the low voltage like 240 volt and 15 volt. The distribution they use is using the feeder pillar. Feeder pillar is like just a distribution box in our house, but in big condition. Then now we are talking about main switching station. The main switching station is from the main distribution station. But for this, in here they have switch that produce the high capacity of voltage for like industry that use 30 kV volt, and like industry is 7 kV. This is how in Malaysia the distribution of electric. So that's all I can explain to you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm going to talk about the safety devices implemented in the distribution of electric power system. So at first, at the substation, it will generate around the energy of 35 kilovolts, which brought down to 7,200 volts by a transformer. This is a step down procedure. And next, in the transformer, there's a safety devices called switchgear. At the high voltage side of the transformer, there is a thing called high voltage switchgear that can handle the power above 35 kilovolts. At the other end of the transformer is the lower voltage switchgear, which can handle the voltage of 1000 to 35 kilovolts. And all these are comprised of circuit breaker, fuses, and safety relay. This is for the ability to shut off power to component when during overloading or short circuit of power. For your information, the switch gear make it possible for technicians to control the power to various components within substation, thereby allowing for them to repair the substation. That's all.
Hi everyone, I'm Durga. So now I would like to explain on the comparison of voltage and frequency provided around the world. Okay, let me say a few things. First, there are two major flows of voltage and frequency. First, voltage where they provide from 220 to 240 volts, and another part where they provide 100 to 127 volts. And about the frequency, first, they provide 50 Hz frequency, and second, they provide 60 Hz frequency. Okay, how does this differ? According to the genius Nikola Tesla, he said that 60 Hertz is more effective in AC current, which is alternating current, whereas his opinion is odd with Thomas Edison, who initially originated that 50 Hertz is more economical and it's less dangerous for humankind as it uses less voltage. As for 50 Hertz, we will use 100 to 127 volts, and as for 60 Hertz, we will use 220 to 240 volts. Okay, now the reasons why Europe countries are using 60 Hertz instead of 50 is when we are using 60 Hertz, it's more economical and it will have less power loss, and it could provide a longer distance of power in AC current compared to DC. Then, nowadays, more countries are preferring 60, including our country, Malaysia, and the nearby countries like Indonesia, Thailand, Taiwan, and furthermore. But there are still a few countries who remain in 50 Hertz. They didn't evolve from 50 Hertz because they have a huge networks. The countries who are still using 50 Hertz with 100 to 127 volts are USA and Japan. Thank you. So, we are here at the end of our video. So, how does electric circuit analysis actually related to our topic, which is transmission and distribution of electric power? So, anyone of you have any ideas?
First one, I think the delta to y or y to delta will help in the transmission and the distributions of the electric power, especially in the three phase of the electric power and also the transformer.
To calculate the voltage, current, or the resistance, we could use the Ohm's law.
I also can see that the series circuit also have relationship with this topic. We can see that like figure is system like a series in a link.
Okay, and moreover, I think AC and DC also plays an important role in the transmission, where we use 50 Hertz for DC current and 60 Hertz for AC current. So, anything else?
Not to forget that we can apply the loops and nodal analysis in the transmission and also distribution of the electric power. Because in the circuit of the transmission and the distribution, that is quite complicated and complex. So by using the loops and nodal analysis, we can make the circuit easier to understand and easier to solve the problems.
Yeah, not forgetting the capacitors. Capacitors play an important role by charging and discharging the electric.
Also we can see that the electric must be have a resistor. So
And also don't forget about the Kirchhoff law. Got the Kirchhoff voltage law and the Kirchhoff current law, also included in the transmission and distribution of electric power.
Alright, so I think that's all that we can share in this video. So if you want to get more detailed information, that you can refer to our report. So we believe that whatever we did in this report will help us in future in the engineering field, because as we study a lot of the things regarding the delta to y analysis, loops, resistors, capacitors, all the things we can apply in the engineering field in future. Example, we can work in the TNB maybe. So okay, so that's all from us for this video. Okay, so
Bye-bye.
that's all. Goodbye. See you next time.